Hello friends, I am Sunil sir and I'm back with a new video. This video is going to talk about gastrulation, how gastrulation takes place, which are the steps involved in gastrulation. First, we need to understand what we mean by this word gastrulation. Gastrulation is nothing but it is the differentiation of germ layer from the cells of embryonal knob. Now when I use this word embryonal knob, students, you need to understand the structure of blastula, because in blastula only there is embryonal knob formation takes place. In gastrulation there is a formation of gut. There are formation of three germ layers that will take place during the process of gastrulation: the endoderm, ectoderm and the mesoderm. Now why I have written it in this way, endo, ecto and meso? Basically it is the order of the formation of germ layers. So remember student, what is gastrulation? The process of differentiation of germ layers into three different layers: endoderm, ectoderm and the mesoderm. Gastrulation takes place after 8th to 14th day of fertilization. It means after fertilization, you can say 8 or 14 days later, gastrulation will take place. What are the steps involved in gastrulation? Very important. The first step is the formation of endoderm. Now students, we need to understand, we all have studied kingdom Animalia, and in kingdom Animalia we have discussed the germ layers. Based on germ layers, the animals are classified as diploblastic, triploblastic. So the one which has two germ layers, they are called as diploblastic. The one with three germ layers, they are called as triploblastic. It means what? How these germ layers are formed, and which is the first germ layer ever to be formed during gastrulation process? Remember, it is endoderm. So this is what I am drawing, is nothing but a blastula structure. Blastula, you all know that it has the outermost layer of cells, and inside all the cells will be towards one side, and that one side cell basically forms the embryonic pole, and the opposite side where there is no cells present, that is forming aembryonic or vegetal pole. These cells which are present at one side, now they will try to differentiate. So for formation of ectoderm, students, you need to understand that the lowermost layer of the cell of the embryonal knob, it will differentiate, and when it starts differentiating, it starts protruding or moving towards the downward side. Now let's understand first the layers of the cells in the embryonal knob. The cells which are touching the trophoblast, they are called as epiblast or upper layer of the cells. Below that there is a mesectoderm, the middle cell, and the lowermost one is known as basal cells. These basal cells, they will differentiate and they will form endoderm layers. So what you need to remember here, endoderm formation is from the basal cell, and below the cavity that you can see is the blastocele cavity. So whenever we talk about formation of endoderm, what we need to understand, the basal cells will differentiate into hypoblast, and these cells, they start moving or dividing towards the downward side. As a result, what happens, the blastocele cavity is lost, and this is the first germ layer formed during gastrulation, and this is called as endoderm, and this results in the formation of first cavity, or you can say primitive gut of the baby, that is called as archenteron. So what we need to understand here, in the formation of endoderm, blastocele cavity will disappear, and it will result in the formation of new cavity that is called as archenteron, and this archenteron is the primitive gut. Your first stomach that was formed during your development is the archenteron, or even it is known as gastrocele. So this is the primitive digestive gut of gastrula. Now we need to understand here, after endoderm there is a formation of ectoderm. The cavity that is present in the endoderm is going to form the yolk sac. But yolk sac, students, remember, in human it is vestigial or non-functional. It is functional in case of birds. The second step of gastrulation is the formation of the next germ layer, that is called as the ectoderm. So step number 2 in gastrulation is formation of ectoderm. For ectoderm formation, students, we are going to take again that same diagram of blastula. And here we have shown that the lowermost layer, that was the basal cell, differentiated into what? The endoderm. What about the epiblast? Epiblast means the above cells. This green line, that the green cells which I am drawing, basically it is representing the endoderm. We have to focus on the epiblast cell. these apiblast cells which are present in the blastula, they are going to change its shape and they will become columnar. So remember, for formation of ectoderm, the apiblast cells, they become columnar, they become compact cell, and then ectodermal cells are formed, and these cells, they will arrange themselves in a continuous pattern so that it appears like a germ layer. So cell multiplies, they move upward, and they arrange themselves in what? A continuous layer that results in the formation of ectoderm. So in order to show that, what I will be doing, I will be drawing the apiblast cells, and these apiblast cells I am going to change it into columnar cells. So we need to say that the apiblast cells, they change themselves into columnar cells, and finally they become compact. Now when I say compact, it means they will form a continuous layer, and that results in the formation of the cavity. Now this cavity that you can see, students, here is nothing but the amniotic cavity, and this amniotic cavity will contain a fluid that is called as amniotic fluid, in which the baby is going to develop in the future. So this is how the ectoderm layer formation takes place. So let's draw this layer in the proper diagram so that we also understand how the endoderm and the ectoderm layer is arranged. So what we need to understand, the first layer that was formed was the endoderm from the basal cell, which developed into hypoblast, and the apiblast cells, they got developed into ectoderm by forming a columnar continuous cells. And let's look in the diagram how the formation takes place. This continuous layer is nothing but the ectoderm, and this green colored layer which I will be drawing, students, is nothing but the endoderm. So what we need to understand, at the time of gastrulation, the first germ layer that is formed is the endoderm, and after endoderm there is a formation of ectoderm. In the endoderm there is a cavity called as yolk sac, and this yolk sac is vestigial, and in ectoderm there is a cavity that is going to form the amniotic cavity, which will be filled up by amniotic fluid in the future. So this is how the second germ layer, ectoderm, is formed. Now student, moving towards the next and the most important layer, that is the formation of embryonic disc. This embryonic disc is very much important because this disc is going to form the baby in future. So here you can see that the ectoderm and the endoderm layer, they are very close to each other. The space between them is forming embryonic disc. So what we can say, that the ectoderm cells and the endoderm cells, which are in close contact with each other, these cells will together form the embryonic disc. Cells of the ectoderm, cells of the endoderm, and the space is totally forming the embryonic disc that will result in the formation of future baby. Moving towards the next important step, that is called as formation of extra embryonic mesoderm, because we all know in triploblastic there are three germ layers formed: ectoderm, mesoderm, and the endoderm. Now we are talking about the formation of extra embryonic mesoderm. When you look at this space, students, surrounding the endoderm, you can see this space. Now this space is resulting in the formation of mesoderm layer. So let me just label it by some dotted lines so that you can understand here. When you look at this space, students, this is the mesoderm layer, but one mesoderm layer is touching the endoderm and the other mesoderm layer is touching the trophoblast. So definitely there will be now two names given to these mesoderm layer. So the cells which are touching the trophoblast, that layer is called as somatic mesoderm, and the one which is touching the endoderm layer is going to form splanchnic mesoderm. So remember, students, that mesoderm has two parts: the somatic mesoderm touching the trophoblast and the splanchnic mesoderm that is touching the endoderm. This is how the formation of extra embryonic mesoderm takes place. So when you look at this, student, all the three different germ layers are formed, that was the ectoderm, endoderm, and the mesoderm. Now let's understand with respect to the diagram in detail, student. So the ectoderm was formed from the epiblast cell, the endoderm was formed from the basal cell, and the surrounding space is mesoderm, and this mesoderm is going to give rise to very important organs that we will be seeing in the fate of the germ layers. Fate means what these germ layers will develop into. Space that is present in the endoderm is going to give rise to yolk sac, which is vestigial in case of humans because we don't have yolk in the egg, and the space that is there in the ectoderm is going to form the amniotic cavity, which will be filled up by amniotic fluid, and this amniotic fluid is even used to check chromosomal defects in the technique of amniocentesis. But now the amniocentesis technique has been banned because it has been used for sex determination also. So what is amniotic fluid, students? The fluid that is secreted by the cells of the amnion and the embryo. So when you look at this, some fluid is contributed by the amnion cells and some fluid is contributed by the embryo. So together is amniotic fluid. So the cells which are contributing the amniotic fluid of the ectoderm, they are called as amniogenic cells. So amniogenic cells are very important cells of the ectoderm that will contribute to the amniotic fluid formation. Now coming to the next and the most important part, student, that is known as the formation of primitive streak and protochordal plate. So in order to understand the primitive streak and the protochordal plate, we need to again take the two layers of the ectoderm and the endoderm. Before that, let's understand what is chorion and the amnion. So whenever we talk about chorion layer, this is very important part of the NEET exam. So it's just one line statement, but you have to always remember it. Chorion is nothing but the cells of trophoblast plus the parietal extra embryonic mesoderm. So the trophoblast layer cells and the parietal extra embryonic mesoderm cells will form the chorion. When I talk about amnion, it is the amniogenic cells of the ectoderm plus the visceral extra embryonic mesoderm. This is how the chorion and the amnions are formed. Let's draw a layer, student. Now this layer which I am drawing is the ectoderm layer. So what I can say that few cells of the ectoderm, they will differentiate and they will mature into different cell. So what I can say here that the ectoderm cells, they are going to differentiate. Not all the ectoderm cells, only few cells of the ectoderm, they are going to differentiate. And when they differentiate, it forms the primitive streak. Very important part that we need to understand here. So let's look at the diagram. This is primitive streak formation, and the formation is by the ectoderm layer. Few specialized cells of the ectoderm will mature, will develop into primitive streak. And when we look at the endoderm layer, some cells of the endoderm also, they are going to differentiate, and when they differentiate, it gives rise to the protochordal plate. So what we need to understand here, student, primitive streak develops from the ectoderm and the protochordal plate develops from the endoderm layer. Hope students you would have understood the concept of gastrulation in an easy way. If you have understood, don't forget to give a like to the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you are new on this channel. And students, your like and subscribe will motivate me to make more new videos for you so that you also learn biology in easy way. Let's meet in the next module, students, with few more topics of biology. Any topic which you feel you want to learn, you want to understand in easy way, don't forget to put it in the comment section. This is Sunil sir saying goodbye to you. Thank you very much. Study well, study hard, do your best. Thank you.